everybody. This is Keith Volk from the Joliet Public Library in Joliet, Illinois. I am the Digital Media Studio Supervisor. Today, we are interviewing again Professor Silvanus Okeke, who is an author, lecturer, and global health advocate. We're going to go over some terms that he'd like to discuss today. So we have a lot to do, and let's dig in. We're going to talk about Nigeria again, a failed nation, part 3. This is a series the professor has been doing, and he has just come back from Nigeria, and he has some more information for us. And let's hear what he has to say. First thing we're going to talk about is government and politics, Arabic studies, and law.
I just came back from Nigeria, so I have a lot of things to discuss, starting from the government of the place. I'm just wondering why Nigeria, a country of 170 million people, will elect a stark illiterate to be in charge of affairs. They are talking of corruption. Nobody is interested because the whole place is corrupt. If the president will make himself a head of state and petroleum minister, what has he in mind? Is it not to make more money? In any case, I want to talk about the government of Nigeria. The government has completely failed because I watched when the ministers were being sworn in, and most of these people are just people with Arabic studies and people with law. You can hardly see anybody that read economics or anybody that read something like business or accounting being among the ministers. So I'm wondering how they do their budgeting. And it's a shame what is happening in the country. The whole politics is messed up the country, and the whole place is upside down, completely dormant. Nothing is happening in Nigeria. When you have Arabic studies, people who studied Arabic studies as ministers, you don't expect much from them. The head of state made a budget where he gave to the National Assembly, and he said the unemployed graduates were supposed to be paid 500 naira. 500 naira is just equivalent to about $16, and that's what you pay them in a month. Are you paying them $16 to be able to survive? Why not a government that talks of job creation? We should be thinking of a government that will talk of job creation, create jobs for the massive unemployed people. I was in Nigeria, all you see is what they call marwa, three-legged cycles all over the place is so dirty, no roads, the place is messed up, and the graduates are riding that marwa. They even feel better. He sent that budget to the National Assembly and had to sneak it away because it was not properly done. That is why my emphasis is we should have people. Nigerians are educated. We have a lot of educated Nigerians. Economics, developmental economics, people who can really make our budget meaningful, not a budget where you put 500 naira for unemployed graduates, and these graduates are so many all over the place. You can't even step aside. When you go outside, the number of people you meet, you'll be so frightened. And these are unemployed people. Why will a government exist in the midst of so massive unemployed people when that country has so much resources? So much resources. If you go to my strategic self-employment book, I detailed over 160 different things that could be done in that country so that that country will be revived. And then what about the educated people? Why not pump really educated people into that government, not people with Arabic studies, not people just law. It's not only law that is going to guide us. We have to have people who study development, people who studied economics, people who studied business, people who can make deals. And I wonder the kind of government we are running there. Apart from government and politics, you have the economic system that is decaying. Who handles the budget of government in that kind of setup? Those are the things we should be worrying ourselves about. Nigerians need a mass revolution to be able to correct the ills. There is dissatisfaction all over the place. People are dissatisfied. Nothing is happening. Different ethnic groups are coming up again, including those in rivers who were not agitating earlier. Just because that man is there and he has failed to look at what is happening in the society, the people have started agitating again, started blowing up the pipeline, and that's not how we can run that economy. We need a leader that will be conscious of what is happening in the country and be able to solve the problems. No good budgeting. Education. He placed one of the Arabic studies people as a minister of education, and the professor is under him. What kind of arrangement is that? How will a professor function under an Arabic studies man? So when the man is invited for something, he wants the man who is well educated to go and represent him. It's not going to happen. The man at the helm of affairs in education should be knowledgeable enough. When Goodluck was there, Goodluck Jonathan had his emphasis on education. He established a number of schools in the north, a number of universities in the states, and those things are just dormant now. Nothing is happening. That is why I say the country is completely a failed nation. What of infrastructure? No construction going on. The roads, the bridges, the roads have all been stopped. You have potholes all over the place. It's difficult to move through the place. And how can you call that a country with people living in it? So difficult. So the projects have all been stopped. I don't know what the president is waiting for. And that kind of government, I've never seen it anywhere. So we need to do something in that country so that from education down to industries and whatever we have, people will work on them because we have a lot of resources. So like I said, the infrastructure is messed up. Repairs are not going on. Roads are so bad. A road that could take like 30 minutes took me over 6 hours. So you can imagine what that means. You'll be jumping inside potholes and coming out of potholes, and I can't understand why that should be a country if nothing is happening. Then you talk of security and Boko Haram in the country. This is an ex-military man. We expected him to stop the Boko Haram. But within the Christmas period, the people still struck. They still kill people, even among themselves. So there is no serious security in the country. And a country without security, how do you expect foreigners to come and invest? How can people go in and invest? People will be scared. So that's all you have, no security in the place. And you will see knowledgeable people going to settle down in that place. So a lot of suffering. Then I think we are running a government of stagnation. It's stagnant. When this man was elected, it took him over 6 months to appoint ministers. And when he appointed these ministers, there are these people with Arabic studies, all these people who don't know their left from their right. And then he recycled old politicians and put among them. I don't know what is happening. That's a country that has a lot of educated people. We have more PhDs in Nigeria than Japan and elsewhere. And yet that country is not developing. Something has to happen. The giant of Africa, once again, is sleeping. He's a sleeping giant because nothing is happening. So I hope we have not inherited kind of Yar'Adua's government, where the man continued lying there and sleeping until it was discovered that he was dead. You get into that place, you'll be so unhappy with yourself. You call yourself the giant of Africa, nothing is happening. People are not agitating. The government is stagnant. There is no security. Infrastructure is messed up. The whole place is upside down. Then the appointment of ministers are people who are not educated. These are major problems. How can a country be run in that manner? The economic system is not working. You see people, all these unemployed people carrying pure water, struggling with a lot of things to survive. That's not how to live in a country. I mean, we need to do something about what is happening in that country. Otherwise, the place will just melt away. We have lots and lots of problems. The man is not doing anything. I think he's sleeping. He made himself the Minister of Petroleum, which he had been before, a head of state. So, of 170 million Nigerians, where you have a lot of educated Nigerians, there is nobody to occupy that post. And now the person he made a junior minister of state is the person representing him in OPEC. He should go there and represent Nigeria since he's the Minister of Petroleum. That's the right thing to do. I don't know the kind of structure or the kind of system Nigeria is running, but it's going to mess up that place completely. I hope people will not start eating themselves. When nothing is happening in a country, the economic system is down, the political system is messed up, no infrastructure, that country is in trouble. Something has to be done. So I'm calling on educated Nigerians to rise and do something. If it is a referendum, if it is a conference, that man, if it is in America, should be recalled. They should vote again and recall him back. He's not supposed to be the head of state. He doesn't have a school cert, no school certificate, which means there is no high school. And that is why we are suffering. A country that had its exchange rate at around 185 naira for a dollar is now at 300 per dollar. How can you run a country in that manner? Something has to be done. The place is in a mess. We have educated people that can restructure that country. That is what I'm advocating. That people should carry out either a conference or a referendum, let something be happening in that country, let people start restructuring that country so that that country will survive again. For what is happening now, massive suffering and nothing more. That's all I have for them. I hope our people will wake up and know what to do. Thank you.
I have a question for you. There has been rumors that the most powerful man in Nigeria is actually illiterate. Is this true?
It is true. That is the head of state. He didn't go to school. And yet, he's in charge of people who went to school. He's in charge of educated people. So I don't know how that works. We need to do something about it. The kind of politics they are playing is dirty. They are not playing to help the masses. They are not playing to help the people who are suffering so that they will elevate the standard of living. The life expectancy went up from 47 to about 56 during good luck. Now it's falling again because of suffering. People are suffering so much, and before long, it will show up again.
The minister who's involved with OPEC, do you think they are moving toward the cash flow instead of helping the government and the people of Nigeria?
No, what is happening in OPEC is that Nigeria depends on oil. That's the big resources, that's the big industry. It's a one product kind of country. The minister, the junior minister who is representing us in OPEC is very smart. He's an intelligent man. Should have been made a full minister of petroleum. Why not make him a full minister instead of the head of state calling himself the minister? He had been a minister of petroleum. He had been under petroleum task force. He's done everything in petroleum. I don't know what he's looking for. I mean, those posts should be given to Nigerians. We have a lot of educated Nigerians, PhDs, professors, and people who can handle those positions. Why is he taking it upon himself when he's not functioning in that manner? So now the man that is representing us in OPEC is doing all that he could, but still he's a junior minister instead of being the main person who is supposed to talk of oil. The oil prices has gone down, so it's a problem for Nigeria. And I'm sure how they will execute their budget is going to be difficult. That is why they've not been able to pass any budget. They are just stagnant. They are just looking at each other, and nothing is happening in the country.
The oil being produced, is it also being refined and exported by Nigeria, or is it by other developing countries?
Well, it's normally done in collaboration. Some of them are gotten as crude and sold at the OPEC level, while they claim to have refineries there too. So let's hope they are doing both.
What other export besides petroleum does Nigeria have?
Yeah, well, Nigeria has a lot of resources. There used to be the granite pyramid in the north, a lot of cotton and cola. There are a lot of things in Nigeria that, if well developed, we could tap on them and be able to maintain the country. But all those things are neglected because of oil. Nothing is happening. Everybody is concentrating on petroleum, and now the price is down, so I don't know how we are going to cope. Otherwise, a good head of state should have been developing agriculture massively. If agriculture is well developed, it will absorb thousands of unemployed people. If you develop the industries with all the little things Nigerians are doing, it will absorb all the unemployed people. So there are things that are capable of taking up almost all the unemployed people, but nobody is thinking of job creation in Nigeria. That is the problem. When people are not thinking of job creation, then the country is in trouble.
What would you say would be the best first step forward that Nigeria could decide upon and act upon?
The very first step forward is, if it is possible to recall that head of state, they should recall him, because he's dormant, he's sleeping, he's not doing anything. I know, because Nigerians are not willing to carry out the revolution. The man is just doing whatever he likes. So, but I still believe that with his advisors and people around him, he could inject a lot of educated people into the system and be able to handle the issues. Because how would you just have Arabic studies and all these people to be in charge of issues, very serious issues that developmental economics, people who are good professors, people who are good doctors should handle? You give it to people who were not trained in that area, just because they want to call themselves leaders. We need problem solvers. We need leaders that will solve problems in that country. The place is in a mess. So we need, first of all, to inject into the system a number of technocrats, those who handle the problem in the country. And once that is done, they will be able to identify most of these things I'm talking about, and then be able to come up with solutions.
Now, could these solutions be positive solutions if they were delegated to the right people in power?
Yeah, normally, if you inject a system, a bad system with people who are knowledgeable, those are called technocrats, experts in the different fields, they are going to do well, because they'll come up with solutions. What Nigeria is just talking about is how to share money. How will you be sharing money and you are thinking you are leading people? Sharing money does not mean leading people. You have to have experts in economics, in industry, in different areas, small-scale industry, job creation. When you bring up all these technocrats, then allow them to come up with the solution of what is happening in the country and see a turnaround. Because these are people who are going to create jobs and absorb massive unemployed people. It's because people are not feeding well, people are not doing the right thing, that you have all these kidnappers, people killing people, insecurity, because these boys are idle. The young men and women leaving universities are idle. They are not doing any work. They go there and study, they are bright, they are smart, but they are not being utilized. If somebody comes out of university and after 10 years, that person is not working, how do you expect that person to function or to live at home? Or you give the person 500 naira, which is $16. How do you expect him to live with that kind of money for a month? It's difficult. So those are the things we need to really settle down and talk about and know what to do.
Well, thank you. Anything you would like to add?
I'm just crying for that country. I'm weeping for the so-called giant of Africa. And I'm thinking a system should be devised where we have experts all over the world, developing other places, come into our country and develop the place. Let them be invited, create an atmosphere for them to survive, and they will be able to create jobs. They will be able to do our budgeting. They will be able to run our industries. They will be able to establish small-scale industries and a lot of things that will inject life into the economy of the place, and that place will become lively again. And then when you call Nigeria the giant of Africa, it will be meaningful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Again, Professor Silvanus Okeke on Nigeria, a Failed Nation, Part 3. Thank you again.